Ayabomanda genti ayekene uno zo no bose iwolochi inketa. Asi unu nkwenchi kwari ya zelo. Dalu nline n'umu chukukunu shineso ira ni faine menelo akuna Eastern News 24 beba isi wene utelu nya bunu kwa basa di okempa. Basta makifene meno bada. Anu basta makamuna wana zo. Diko si di ay kwado nung kono garaga na gene utelu no daily update bifene men as it happen. That's so good to bring them to the doorstep. Open a subscribe bell bambo kimetwaka na subscribe button ki subscribe and turn on your notification kila pe miss any time I na drop update I na book update kila pe miss ya on kwiye kwa subscribe and also share ko depo munna indoors onte ya bo ifa abugo na mmiri ejuga wo no ya bi fi na ejuno kita bo gent ofuma una afugonu aka na ekwu okwu terrorist na demand 30 million 150 motorcycle with healers. Obi ife nwere ikwu mana ọsọ gbaziri iwu na agba azụ ike ahụ iji manyalụ mmadụ ya ka ya ejikwa manyalụ gị akwụ na aghọta ge ya bụ ife kwuru n'ife elufai na apati Dr. Apati kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ gbasata maka ya bụ ife ka o si akpọtụ unu ga-esi na drop ọra kọmentị unu ka o si wee na-ada. Alright, over to
trailed the demand of 40 trillion naira by terrorists who kidnapped 16 residents in the Goringora area of Kaduna State. The terrorists also asked for 11 Hilux vans and 150 motorcycles before they can release the 16 people they are holding captive. Let's take some tweets. This is from Odogu, who wrote, "For bandits and kidnappers to demand for 40 trillion and 150 brand new motorcycles means they wanted to liquidate Nigeria as a country to form another country of their own. Where can such amount of money come from, even when our budget is 27.5 trillion naira? Wow." Well, Osazu wrote, "It is almost 10 years since the Chibok girls were kidnapped, and 100 of the girls are still missing. In March 2024, about 500 people in Borno State, Kaduna State, and Sokoto State have been abducted. Abductions, kidnappings have gone worse. Where is the Nigerian government?" Dr. Abati.
Where is the Nigerian government when we have found ourselves in a situation whereby kidnappers, bandits are so audacious? They are asking for a ransom that is more than the national budget of the entire country. The budget for 2024 as passed is 28.7 trillion naira. Now they are asking for 40 trillion naira. And you know, the impudence of it is even what rankles. Where would they collect that 40 trillion naira from? Or maybe they are, you know, just negotiating with the hope that they will get you know, some amount, whatever amount they get. This is the reason why some people have been arguing that some of these bandits and all that, it shouldn't be so difficult to trace them, that they have bank accounts in Nigeria. Nigeria is the only country that we know that people, criminals, bandits, kidnappers, run bank accounts, despite the know your customer, KYC, that our banks claim that they do. That's why they are also asking for 150 motorcycles. Okay, let us even assume that those 150 motorcycles were available. Where would they collect the 150? Where would they take them to? I mean, how do they intend to collect that? And they're asking for 10 Hilux vans. Well, you know, this just shows, as I pointed out earlier on, you know, how hopeless our condition seems to have become, even in the midst of assurances that the government is running a hope agenda. The spokesperson for that community, the Giringora community in Kaduna State, said, well, even if you sell the entire community, you can't get, you know, 40 trillion naira. The challenge of government, seeing this situation in which the people have found themselves, is to pay more attention to security. The people of that community, they said the bandits come through certain routes, forests, bushes surrounding the community. Is there a way government can help them, both the state government and the federal government? The people also say that they were attacked twice in 1 week. 2 persons were killed, 16 were abducted. Twice in 1 week. We have had other cases in that same Kaduna State where bandits will operate on a daily basis for 3-4 days. And there will be no help from the security agencies. So this is just another wake-up call for the authorities about the seriousness of the crisis that we face. As for agriculture, I thought I had those children choosing to become farmers. Right?
I think they were quite confused until after the governor said, you know, a governor is a farmer, because he's a farmer governor, right?
But in any case,
governor this time.
I think they were the right.
but in any
Which
case,
want to become farmer in Nigeria?
that was
We
state
need
managed.
to promote it.
That was state managed for the optics.
Yeah.
If you look at those children, these are children that are still at the nursery level. You know, at the stage where they're still impressionable. They're dressed in national colors to praise and welcome President Tinubu. So this is good for the photo opportunity purpose that it serves. But I think the more important thing is that we have in Niger State a governor who says he has a Niger agenda focusing on agriculture. We hope that we have the resources, the courage to sustain it, and that, you know, the relevant agencies will provide security so that the farmers can have access to their farms. President Tinubu was there also supporting the state, saying that this is a bold initiative and asking other states to follow the example. The states to also come together, you know, and have an MOU and explore each other's competitive advantage in the area of agriculture, because indeed it would be a great shame if Nigeria, a country with such vast areas as for agriculture, cannot feed itself. This country once fed itself. This country once made money from agric. Cocoa House in Ibadan was built by the Awolowo administration with cocoa money. Revenue from agriculture. That's why that building is called Cocoa House. I think it's a 25-story building. You know, but today, people find it difficult to even have food to eat. So the green initiative that the government has embarked upon, or was it the green imperative that the Minister of Agriculture called it in Niger State, I think is something that the Tinubu administration must take seriously in terms of ensuring food security and also food self-sufficiency. What do they use? Food sufficiency, you know, in Nigeria.
Well said, Dr. Abati. Well, all right, we'll take another story. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has come under fire on social media after he was seen in a viral video advertising aircraft in an Airbus facility in France. The minister, in a post on X, also announced that the federal government is engaging with leading aircraft leasing companies in France to facilitate the leasing of Airbus aircraft to Nigeria's private airline operators. Let's take a look at the video before we take some reactions.
This is the factory of the manufacturing giants, aircraft manufacturing giants Airbus in Toulouse, France. You can't see anything bigger than this. Now look at, this is the aircraft for Nigeria. This is the jack of all trades for Nigeria, the A220 family, right? We have also this, okay, the A220, but this one is the Nigerian aircraft, what you see all the time in Nigeria. Now look at this. This is the mind-blowing one. This is the A350, okay? If you get into these aircraft, you will see heaven on earth. Awesome aircraft. And we are trying to get some of these into the country with our private airline operators. We want to make the conditions conducive enough for the aircraft leasing companies to have faith in us to bring these aircrafts into Nigeria. But this is the major factory of Airbus in Toulouse. Thank you.
Well, all right, let's take some tweets. Now, this is from Iroha. He wrote, well, meet Comrade Festus Keyamo, the new sales manager for Airbus Industries Toulouse, France. Nigerians are doing wonderful everywhere in the world. Niger to the world. This is from Kalu Aja, who wrote, is the Nigerian government going to buy a new Airbus jet? No. Is the Nigerian government going to finance the purchase of an Airbus jet? No. Will Airbus set up a factory or maintenance yard in Nigeria? Possibly. if you buy more Airbus planes, so back to 1 and 2? Will Airbus set up a training facility in Nigeria? Again, possibly, if you buy more Airbus planes, so back to 1 and 2. So why are you in France with a government-funded entourage? This is our Minister of Aviation. He's out there in France touring the Airbus facility. Yeah. I mean, I think that, you know, it's such a loud message at this point. I mean, I do admire the initiative because I believe that it is to benefit the Nigerian aviation space if you are going to import. But at this point, aren't we supposed to be having our own manufacturing plants, or even just to have a hangar for maintenance facility? We don't even have that yet. Ayo.
All right, so you're right. You said at this point, shouldn't we have our own manufacturing plants? We're supposed to be celebrating 1 year anniversary of that. If we were to go by the promise made by the previous Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, under the Buhari administration in 2021, he also made a similar visit to Magnus, an airplane manufacturing company, and he said that following that discussions with them, by 2023, that was 2 years after his visit in 2021, Nigeria would start manufacturing aeroplanes. Well, this is 2024, and guess what? The new Minister of Aviation is now going to Airbus to advertise and talk about the benefits. I mean, on one hand, one of the reasons for his visit is to enable, you know, just engender goodwill between companies in France who are makers of the Airbus jet and also Nigerian local players so that we can benefit. However, we are having a conversation that ought to have been had many years ago, when what we should be talking about is investment. We keep talking about the fact that we should, you know, Nigeria is the investors' destination. The fact that we should attract people who would come, and the effect of that, number one, creating more jobs for Nigerians. Number two, FX, the pressure on our FX, being able to locally assemble or locally manufacture. There are many gains from that. But what we saw there is an influencer going to tell us the benefits of Airbus so that we can really be excited. It is the things that they think we ought to be excited about. We are speaking in the future, the conversations that ought to have been had in the past. So what should we do? Where are we now? Are we now going back to that conversation? We're not impressed by that, unfortunately. Good for us that we're going to get, hopefully, and by the way, there's no agreement yet as to whether that was successful and Airbus would come to some form of, deal with our Nigerian players. But I think beyond that, what we should be looking at is how do we begin to manufacture our own planes? How do we train aeronautics in our universities such that Nigerians can begin to ideate and think of manufacturing our own products that we can export to the world and not looking for more imports from countries who have established themselves and have made a name for themselves because their government invested in the people.
We'll take another story. Civil society groups have tripped out en masse in solidarity for Chioma Okoli, a pregnant mother of 3 children who has been embroiled in a legal battle with the manufacturer of Erisco Foods after posting a review of one of their tomato paste products on Facebook. The group, comprising Enough is Enough Nigeria, Purple Women Foundation, and Women Advocates Research and Documentation Center, began their work tagged I Stand with Chioma Okoli around 8 a.m. in the Ikeja area of Lagos State. Well, the owner of Erisco Foods, Eric Umuofia, has come under fire in recent times after revealing in an interview with Adesua Giwa Osage that he would rather die than to allow anyone tarnish his image.
This company was established before Chioma was born. Whoever is that Chioma, 40 years ago, I was suffering for this company to establish it. Now, because of the rants, we will allow her to close our company down. I rather close the Erisco Food down and fight for my reputation, fight for my brand, fight for my good name before I die. And stubborn with my right, arrogant with my right, I don't no apology for it. And pompous with my right. I must do the right thing. I don't look for trouble. If you come for trouble, I'm ready for you. This she do is trouble. You are sabotaging my company. And the 7 years imprisonment, 7 million naira, or how many years imprisonment? That 3 years. So why must you go? Because you're a pregnant woman. In prison here, there is a space where you can keep child. There's nothing more that there is where they not mother there. So if you think you can come and bully me to drop my case, I'm not dropping it. I rather die than to allow somebody to tarnish my image. I work 40 years to grow.
All right, this has been quite controversial. And just to note that this is, Women's Month. This is, the month for mothers and women, and, Chioma Okoli is out there. She's pregnant. He also stated in that video that, there are spaces for women in the prison yards as well. But before we take our conversation, this actual march as well, they said that it's in commemoration of Women's Day. So let me take my final story so we can all discuss both. We'll take our final story. Tony Elumelu, chairman of UBA and founder of the Elumelu Foundation, on Monday, in commemoration of International Women's Day, announced that his foundation has committed over $40 million in empowering female entrepreneurs in Africa since its inception. In his International Women's Day message, Elumelu stated that women occupy a large percentage of key positions in his foundation, UBA, and Hairs Holdings. The billionaire businessman also noted that he would continue to be a strong advocate for gender inclusion, having witnessed the transformative effect of investing in women. His tweet reads, "I am and will always be a strong advocate for inclusion in every area of life. I have witnessed firsthand the impact of investing in, working with, and learning from women. My first influence was my mother, whose experience as an entrepreneur serves as my initiation into a world where hard work translates to success." Well, here's a video of Tony Elumelu. So that was such a beautiful video. It's gotten over 1 million views. I mean, to all our viewers, I lost my mother about 2 years ago. I'll give anything to be with her today. But, congratulations to Tony Elumelu. Happy Mother's Day. Happy International Women's Day. It's a happy moment for Tony Elumelu, but not such a happy moment for Chioma Okoli.
Yes, and thanks for juxtaposing those two stories. You see what an entrepreneur can do with his influence and power to ensure that he's fostering inclusion and ensuring that women are well represented and that he's giving women an opportunity to fly.
Yes.
If you look at him, he's in the right place to speak, because if you look at his corporations, his group, whether it's from organizations where he's involved in, we have Owen Omojia for Transcore Holdings, we have Dupo Lushola, who have done, and they've excelled in their roles, even with the Tony Elumelu Foundation, headed by a woman, so excellently. Now, going to Chioma Okoli's story, it's sad that in Women's Month is when Chief Omeofia would make a statement such as, in the prison, there are spaces for women with children, there are corners for them, when we should be seeking in other parts of the world. There are people who are speaking against it, speaking not just for the rights of women, but the rights of children. And then he's saying that a woman like that is intimidating him with 40 years. Look at the person, he is intimidating her with his political, his wealth, his financial might. He's intimidating her with his stance. And then, unfortunately, it seems like even our institutions are backing this show of shame.
Absolutely.
He's doing more harm than to his company than Chioma is. So rather than saying Chioma wants to destroy 40 years of work, I want to say that Chief Eric Omeofia, you're the one who is destroying your hard work of 40 years by intimidating and victimizing this woman for giving an honest review of your product.
Absolutely. I know you want to say something.
I mean, I wanted to say something. Please.
We seem to have run out of time.
Okay, we have run out of time, but please, those that are advising this man, they should advise him well. Absolutely. Because this thing degenerated because of wrong advice. I will just leave this word with you. A brand is the voice of the person that is the brand.
Absolutely.
The product is just a souvenir. You see, that word of, I would rather die than to see this.
No.
And there's a place for women in prison that are pregnant. Will dog the Erisco brand for a long time if care is not taken. It's best you settle this now.
In any case, the matter is in court.
Yes.
And Inebe Efyong is the one representing Chioma Okoli. We don't have time.
Yes, absolutely. Well,
thank
I'd
you.
like to thank you all for your great analysis. I wish we all had time to discuss Chioma. Well, justice for Chioma Okoli. That's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.
Ndị be anyị ngwadalụ nne nụ anyị anụgo nnụnụ egego ya bụ ife and nnụnụ gasịkwara ma ihe lọya representịrị Maazị Nnamdi Kanu n'ụlọ nke ọkaikpe n'ikpe nke ekpere n'ụbọchị nke 26th of February 2024. Nnụnụ gasị ife okwu gasị n'iru akwụkwọ dị iche iche and oge court suspended iji wee nụ bail condition bail application for Maazị Nnamdi Kanu. Edika ịnụ ya bụ ife ka ife nwere ike ikwu Bustabaka ya bụ ife gị bụ Igbo ọma na-ege ntị gwa ya n'ọnụ Igbo ọnụ Igbo ọnụ ọbụla ịma na ihe esi ọtị ya drọpụla ya n'iru akwụkwọ a na Eastern News 24. Ndị be anyị daalụ niile na ụmụ Chineke ngwanụ ka emesịanụ ụmụ ife.